I'm real tired of stupid pencil sharpeners that cannot sharpen pencils. So I bought several and I'm going through them all. This is the most basic pencil sharpener that you can get. It is metal, it is sturdy, it does not even have a place to catch the shavings. This is a unique take on a pretty standard pencil sharpener scenario. It's got a place for the shavings, not a huge container, but it's also got, this is really intriguing, close to not close, or I guess long adjustments. So, you know, you've seen some sharpeners that will sharpen pencils and it's just like a nub from here to here, and some it'll be like a razor blade all the way down, just creates a longer sharpened area. Well, you can now adjust that length with this guy right here. So we'll try that out. If you're a product of the 80s or 90s, you know what this guy is. It's that one that you see in your classroom where it sharpens the pencil, you stick through there, manually, pneumatically sharpen it, catches the shavings down here. It came assembled like this in the box, and then it comes with this piece, which can either go on the back or on the front, and then you tighten this little bolt so that this keeps it on the desk. Now, something they didn't have when I was in school in the 90s was this guy. So you pinch this together, and we'll go through the demo in a second, and it actually holds the pencil in place. You manually crank this until it stops grinding. So it actually will automatically stop when it is the correct amount of sharp. This is an electronic pencil sharpener by AFMAT, which was a highly regarded brand when I did my research. It has an adjustment here for long or short. So again, if you have some pencils that are sharpened, you see them sharpen and it's like a short area and just a nub there. Or others where it's a longer area that's sharpened and a real sharp point. You can control how long or short that is here. This will also auto start and stop. So let's check that out. All right, we get this guy. Let's see how this works. First up, I've got a Crayola. Here's what it looks like ahead of time. You know, it's kind of minimally sharpened a little bit there. Give it a go here. You can see this is what you want to see. Nice shavings. Let's inspect. Okay. So already out of the gate, the most basic, but not the cheapest pencil sharpener is performing much better than some of the ones I had here at the house. The lead is actually staying on there, so it didn't like weaken the lead and break it, which has happened a ton on other pencil sharpeners for me. So that's the Crayola. It did fine. Now I'm going to use it on this guy, which is like a custom built one with my son's name etched into the bottom of it there. I don't know what brand this is, but we're just going to do the same thing here. See how this works. Nice shavings. Feels good. All right, it was getting there. Got to keep going. All right, this is really performing well. I mean, already this is kicking the crap out of some of the ones that we have here at the house that we've been very frustrated with. That's a really nicely sharpened pencil. So that's off-brand, custom-made pencil. I don't know what it is. Here is, I have no idea. It doesn't have any label on it. This is just a cheap pencil we have at the house. Do the same thing. By the way, you do have to have a trash can, so that's like the only downside to this one. That and the fact that it's mechanical, or it's manual and not mechanical. But it is working equally well so far. Let's see the final tip. Yeah, so far on all these. And that tip is secure. Hey, this guy, thumbs all the way up. Very impressed. Super small. You can buy a handful of these. Again, they're not the cheapest ones you're going to find, but it is solid metal. This thing is eventually going to dull out. I really like this pencil sharpener, though. You should have one of these on standby. Thumbs up for me. Very intrigued by this. Let's see how these dials work. I will show you the result of every setting on here. So there's 5 settings. We'll fast forward through that part so you don't watch me grind the whole time. But here's the first one. So this is a Crayola pencil. That's what it looks like ahead of time. Pop it into here. This is on setting 1. So see how it's a shorter end result there? Just a shorter tip, but it is sharp, it is secure, and I did feel it as I stopped or I got to the end of the sharpening. I could tell when it was done pretty much. I mean, you can actually not hear it doing much anymore. So cool feature. And there's what setting number 2 looks like. That's a perfectly sharply sharpened pencil. There's what setting 3 is looking like. Here's a Crayola. Here's what it looks like beforehand. This is setting number 4. I mean, it's super sharp. That's a nicely sharpened pencil. It is sturdy and secure at the tip. I'm back on Crayolas again because we did have breakage on our off-brand pencils. There's setting number 5. I mean, that's a really nice pencil. All right, so here's the different heights that this pencil sharpener produced, going from shortest to longest. You can see the first few, I mean, there's not a lot of difference in there. I think this one had already had some shavings off of it when we did number 1 setting. But I really like the fact that you can customize the height at all, and overall it did produce a fantastic cut. Took a little bit of extra work to do that with these manual pencil sharpeners, but overall, thumbs up on this guy. Very unique device and very affordable. All right, so what do we do here? We actually push this together, pull this out, and then, hard to do on camera, stick this guy in here like so. We release this, and that actually grabs this with some teeth so it can pull it inward as we sharpen. So there we go. And you can hear that it kind of stops sharpening at a certain point. Pull that out of the teeth, and there we are. Our sharpened pencil. The tip is secure. And this is a good example because it doesn't need much of anything. It's actually in pretty good shape. Let's see what happens though. I'm going to lock it into place here. And is it going to detect that, hey, it's in good shape? I think it might be. Huh. I was doing it wrong earlier. I don't know what I was doing to do it wrong. It seemed pretty self-explanatory, but that's as perfect a tip as you could possibly ask for out of a pencil. Let me write with it for a second. I mean, it's not fragile. It's the perfect tip. Okay, my opinion is changing. Let's go again. Crayola. Nubs. We got nubs on both sides. We got what? That much length. Open this up. Slip it into place. Okay. So it's not going in. It is spinning the pencil, but what's the end result? Well, howdy doody. Check that out. So this guy takes a little bit of a learning curve to get used to. And I will tell you that if you're going to rely on this to keep it attached to your desk, make sure there's 90-degree angles and there's no beveled edges, because I had trouble with mine falling off, not being very secure. It's not a very, I mean, this is kind of a dinky little guy. You really want something that goes all the way through there to keep it more secure onto the countertop. But I got to say, I really, really think that this created probably the best tip, on par with the best tips out of any of the sharpeners that I've tested. And this is going to earn a regular spot in our house for the crank style, right next to probably, or in the other room from, I guess, the electric one that I've got. I want to like this. I want this to be the best one because it's definitely the easiest one. It is electric, so it plugs in. I've got my cable plugged into the wall over here. We're going to set it on the counter or on my desk and adjust it. This thing opens apparently. Oh, this top comes off so you can empty things, all the shavings out like that. Stick it in the top and it's supposed to auto stop. You can change the level of sharpness on it. So we can go like a nub over here for smaller kids and stuff to a sharp point over here. Let's start with nub. Here's what it looks like ahead of time. This is a Crayola pencil. And it auto stopped. There's what it looks like after sharpening. Got some shavings on it, but that's a really good sharpened pencil. Now, that's not really a nub though, so let's see what it looks like on the other setting. And here's a pencil. This is already sharpened. Scratch that. Strike that. Here's a Play School pencil. This is not Crayola. All right. There's what the sharp version looks like. So difference between nub and sharp. And there is a difference. I mean, there's a striking difference. That is a lot sharper. Well, it's a little sharper than this one. But both of them are secure. It did it real fast. You can see the debris in there. Let's take one of these guys. Here's what it looks like beforehand. I don't know how it's detecting it's done, but it's doing a good job of detecting it's done. And that, my friends, that is a sharp pencil. I'm happy with this. Let's do another one. Let's do like your standard regular pencil. Here's what it looks like. I'm going to go back to the nub setting, the officially titled nub setting. All right. So it's still going to be a sharp pencil head. It's not, there's no nub to be found here. I mean, that's sharp if it would zoom in correctly. It's still sharp, but it does a good job. Ooh, it writes nice too. Okay. Do I like this? Yeah, I like this a lot. I'm pretty happy to say that I love this thing. The adjustment down here is not that big of an adjustment. Some other devices like this little guy right here has much more variance in the level of adjustment, but this is a nice touch. There is noticeable difference. It's just minor. The speed is super fast. It does auto start or auto stop rather, and auto start, and it doesn't eat the whole pencil. So I've watched some videos and it looked like it was eating like the entire pencil to sharpen it. My experience was not that. Maybe if you like jam it down in there, you could get it to eat more of it. You don't want to do that, but I was pleased with how fast it sharpened, the fact that it didn't waste, in my perception, a lot of the pencil, and that it just did a good job on all the pencils that I tried each time. It outperformed the manual ones just barely. Actually, in product, it was about the same as the best manual one, but ease of use and speed far superior, and it definitely outperformed the crank one that I had. I love it. Highly recommend. What did I like? Well, I really like this guy. This guy performed, like in product wise, it performed as good as the best one here, which I'll get to in a second. The downsides, of course, you got to have a trash can right underneath it. There's nothing there to catch the shavings, and it's manual. So if you're sharpening a lot of pencils for your kids, and I've got 4 kids, so I'm sharpening a lot, this is going to be cumbersome. It's going to be cumbersome real quick. What else did I like? I really liked this guy. This did a fantastic job also. I did run into some issues with all of the ones that I tested on the off-brand pencils breaking more often than the Crayola and other name brand pencils. So in some cases, a pencil sharpener upgrade, you're still going to run into poor quality pencil breakage. The lead is the part that breaks easily. But I was really impressed with this. There was a noticeable difference when you changed the number, like how short or long that you wanted the actual end sharpened finish to be. And I just thought it was a cool touch. It's a little easier to hold than this guy. And of course, it actually holds some shavings, not a ton. I got to empty it out now after this demo video, but it does hold some so you don't get stuff all over the place. So my first impression on the old Angel 5 by Carl was pretty poor. I was getting some poor results, but I think that I've figured it out now. It is actually a phenomenal, I mean, when it works right, it's as good as it gets right there. That's as good as anything else that I've had done. Here's one from an electric sharpener. I mean, that's marginally sharper maybe, but they're both just absolutely beautiful. And you may have guessed this is going to take the prize. I didn't expect this to perform as well as it did. I was honestly doubtful, but it performed every bit and then some. I was very pleased with the tip it put on things. The only critique I could find was that there's not a huge variance between this setting and this setting where you're supposed to have a lower nub tip and then a longer tip. I mean, they were a little bit different, but not a whole lot. It didn't eat a lot of the pencil, like I've already said, and it did it real fast. I'll be interested to see longevity, how much life we get out of this, but I'm very pleased it's going to take the place of the cheap one that we have in the other room today. Hope you found this useful. You might find this video useful as well. Go ahead and click on it next. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you later.